Exodus 17.
Exodus 17.
17:9.
17:9?
Right.
All right.
That-
And Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men, and go out, fight with Amalek tomorrow. I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand.
Okay, now stop for a second. When God is going to fight and God is going to do battle, he needs some folks that's going to stand and do it the way he says to do it. And when God says to do it a certain way, he wants it done what? That way. Amen?
Amen.
Here, hold that, brother. Hold that. You Moses, brother. Hold that. Read.
So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek and Moses. Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed.
Hold on a second. As long as he... Hold on to the rock, though. Give me the mic. Here you go, sister. I need you to hold the rod out. Hold it out. There you go. Hold on to it. All right. Hold it. All right. I'm supposed to have gotten you to do that when we started reading. I messed up. Go ahead.
But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him. And he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands.
How long do you think he can hold this rod by himself? How long do you think he can hold this rod?
A couple of minutes.
He's wobbling pretty good. But as long as he's holding up the rod, our church is going to have victory.
Right.
Come on, somebody. Y'all come on read. As long as he holds up the rod, we will have victory in the house. But when the rod drops, our victory drops. How many of us want to lose? The only way he can win and we can win, when his hands get tired, somebody's got to take their arms and put them up under his arms. And when he's tired, they strengthen him. Amen? So that he's able to fight this battle. Read that down. One more verse.
Okay. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him.
They put a stone under him so that he could sit.
And he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands.
And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands. Read.
The one on the one side,
The one on the one side,
and the other on the other side.
and the other on the other side.
And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun.
And his hands were steady till the going down of the sun. As long as we as a church can get up under each other, as long as we as a family can get up under each other, when we stop upholding one another, then the battle will be lost. But when we hold up each other, come on somebody, when we come together as a community. Yesterday, those of you that went to the funeral for Brother Chester, and she held up the measuring stick, I come to you this morning with the same story. I didn't know she was going to do that. And when my wife brought me this skip for today, little did I know that on yesterday she would be holding up that rod. And today, with all these children here, how many of you know that unless we hold each other up, we're not going to win this battle? How many of you know if we don't hold each other's relationships up, we're not going to win this battle? Come on, somebody. Anybody had some rock and rolls? Any of y'all old enough to remember rent parties? Any of y'all old enough to remember rent parties? When somebody's rent was due, and instead of going to the club, folks would come to people's house and have a rent party. And instead of giving your money to the club, they would come to the person's house and have a party. And the money that they were going to give to the club, they ended up leaving at their house that night. So that Monday morning, rent got paid.
Right.
Why? Because a community that holds itself up. Brother Antoine was betting that you wouldn't be able to make it for a minute. So let's give Moses a hand. So I want to talk to you for a couple more minutes, then we'll get back into our regular form of worship. The second thing is, during this 40-day fast, you want to get this one? During this 40-day fast, I heard some of the kids say that they're going to give up some. I ain't never heard nobody say they gave up pickles. That's a new one. That's a new one. I never met a pickleaholic. But then again, I never met a hot sauce holic either. But what are we willing to give up today, since we weren't here Wednesday night? How many of y'all are willing to, when this service is over, what time do y'all normally have dinner after service? Right away? Anybody willing to fast for 40 minutes after service and not eat anything? Anybody willing to put your cell phones down?
Lord, that would take a miracle.
Anybody willing to put your cell phones down? What you gonna do this year as we go through these 40 days? I want everybody to make a commitment on something that you're gonna do. And we're gonna begin today. And some of you didn't begin with us on Wednesday night. And we burned our palms on Wednesday. And Brother Antoine and Keisha, yeah, Keisha, y'all forgive me. Y'all haven't been through the Ash Wednesday service with us before. Did you see anybody when you were on patrol Wednesday with a cross on their forehead with black marks?
Oh, my friend came to school like that.
And I said, you got something?
Brother Antoine trying to arrest somebody, baby, because of ashes on their forehead. We had our service on Wednesday night. What I wanted to do with the children that are here today, I wanted to remind you why we're beginning this journey. When we get into the message, and we're going to get into that in a little bit, we're going to outline that. But I want you to know that you can go on our website, and when you get home, tell your mom and dad to go on the website. On the left-hand side of the top bar, under purple, you can go under 40-day fast. 40-day fast, and you can pull it off. And when you pull the fast off, it will come off and it will look. It will look like this. Amen. How many of y'all know that for 40 days you might be able to take some meat out your diet? Any of y'all like hot dogs? Can y'all put down hot dogs for 40 days?
Yeah.
You don't eat hot dogs? Okay. What about, are there any bread eaters in the house? People that love bread? Can somebody take bread out of their diet for 40 days? Okay. Mother Wanga says she took, what was it, pork chops? Last year, I was able to take out beef, chicken, and pork. I ain't losing no weight. Matter of fact, I gained some weight. I can't get over this. But after a whole year, I haven't eaten. And I found other stuff. And now that I'm not eating, I'm finding out that some of the stuff that I was eating is a lot healthier than what I was eating. Now I'm monitoring that. But guys, what I want you to do, I want to close this section of the service out. Jesus, for 40 days, knew that you couldn't make it. He knew that you would be struggling in life. He knew that you would have situations as you got older. He knew that there would be some battles that you would have to fight. He knew that there were some struggles that you would have to go through. So he went to a place for 40 days and for 40 nights. And what did he do? He won the battle just for you. Will you guys help me as I fast for 40 days?